Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Peaks Peak, or should I say, welcome to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. We are over here at Paul Williamson's place because he wanted to try out the Kubota BX23S and see if it would fulfill his needs for a subcompact tractor. So I brought it over here and we're gonna let him do some testing and just find out what it's capable of. That way he can make an informed decision before he goes and spends all that money buying a subcompact tractor.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this too because debated on whether to go the route of the extra expense of getting the backhoe on the tractor, whether I should do that or not, because it is a pretty big initial investment on top of, what you're already spending on the tractor. So Lucas was telling me that, he may or may not be able to dig out a big stump with it alone, but we do have backup. We're gonna maybe try to teamwork a little bit if necessary, but we're gonna go as far as we can with the BX and just see if it will take this out. And then if we need to, then maybe we'll get the big tractor and try to get it the rest of the way out.
Yeah, so when we got over here, actually just to kind of do a little demonstration, we dug out a small stump on the hillside leading up the driveway to Paul's place. And he wanted to get rid of that stump and couldn't push it over with the M6060. So I said, well, let me go at it with the BX. And if you want to check that out, we dug that stump out and he's going to have a video out on that. So be sure and subscribe to Williamson Ridge Outdoors so that you can check out that content as well. Now, I made some predictions to him over this stump because we got a great big pine tree stump here that's gonna have some pretty good sized roots. And in my experience, I think we'll struggle to do a whole lot of digging this out. But he has that M6060 and I think between the two of us, we'll get this stump out of here. All right.
Yeah, I think teamwork will prevail on this one.
Right. All right, well, let's get to work. All right, so we got Paul on the Kubota digging a little bit with the backhoe. He's trying his hand on one of the most difficult things you can do, and that's digging out a great big stump. But it's pretty cool to see somebody get on and test it out for the first time. He said he hasn't run a backhoe very much. It's kind of like me. When I got it, I had never ran a backhoe. But the BX is great for new operators to just get on and figure it out. And smaller piece of equipment, you're not going to do quite as much damage with it either. So it gives you a chance to kind of learn from it as you go. Get a little more comfortable and you want, we can crank the throttle up a little and it has more power. Okay. This is where you set it to operate, but you get quite a bit more power if you run it up to the 540 mark.
Yeah,
but it's jumpy when you do that. So
memorize here, and the last thing I did operate, like the boom was controlled with your feet.
Oh yeah.
And so and then I had a Mini X that it was all on one control, and
I've never ran a Mini
controls, but then they was that's a little different, a little getting used to.
There you get the piece of one.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, the one thing that Paul's going to figure out if he decides to get one of these Kubota BX23S with a backhoe is your yard's tore up all the time because you always have a reason to dig. So you're always tearing something up around the place. All right, Paul, so 10 minutes in the seat. What do you think?
I definitely feel that there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. This is the first time I've operated, a Kubota BX. I've operated so many excavators in the past and a front loader backhoe combination, but very little, and it's been years ago. So it's kind of like relearning a little bit. I never had a lot of experience with it, but I feel that in a short time I could probably get pretty fluent at it, because some of the controls are actually coming along, and then it's going smooth, and I'll just forget for a second which one does what, and then it kind of comes back a little bit. So I think you can get the hang of it pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so too. Can you tell anything yet about capability?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised a little bit. Like if you're digging in dirt, it feels like that it'll just dig in dirt with no problem whatsoever. It has tons of power for that. The only time that it doesn't feel underpowered because you're actually moving the tractor, and I can actually feel the front of the tractor trying to lift quite a bit. And not that the backhoe is underpowered, it's that it's just not enough weight there to really rip through big roots and stuff.
It's a small machine, and so I think it's balanced well. The capability is right for the size of the tractor, but it has its limitations, and that's its weight.
Yeah, you don't want to be having so much power on the backhoe that you're going to flip yourself over because it's just so powerful. You just really run into a dangerous situation if you hit something like that.
Absolutely. Back toward you.
So after we got Paul a little bit of seat time, we decided that we had a lot of other things we wanted to test out on the Kubota today. So I hopped in the seat and worked our way around that stump to see if we couldn't get it dug out. This old pine tree definitely had some really deep, thick roots. Once we felt like we had made all the progress we could make with the BX and the bucket that we had, we decided to go ahead and bring in the M6060.
All right, well, we've done about all the digging we can do, or all the digging we want to take the time to do around this stump. And I'm not sure that his big tractor will push this out yet, but we're kind of just doing demonstrations, letting him get the hang of the tractor. And so I'll be anxious to see how his tractor does pushing on this, see if we got the stump out. But give me your impressions after you ran it for a while.
Yeah, I have to say I'm actually pretty impressed because this is a lot of dirt moved in a short period of time. Now, I'm not real fast with it because, you know, like I was saying before, this is the first time of me operating the tractor, but and the backhoe, and so no experience on it pretty much. And, you know, I could feel the power and stuff that it has, and it is good for the size of tractor that it is. I wasn't expecting big machine power out of it, but it is very capable. The amount of dirt that's moved around this tree, you know, and we were actually talking about this a second ago off camera, that now that it's dug down that far below the surface, you can come in and cut roots with a chainsaw, or even, you know, kind of clear out some of the loose dirt and then cut the stump off and then cover it back up with dirt, and it'll be like it was never there.
Yeah.
So even though it may not remove a stump like this in, well, we worked on it 20, 30 minutes or something at the most, but if you wanted to spend the time on it, yeah, you probably could dig it out eventually.
I've seen some big stumps that guys have dug out with these, but a root ripper would help, and, you know, a little more seat time probably for both of us. But I think we made good progress. So
yeah,
fire up that big tractor and let's see what we got.
Right, we'll see what it'll do. Is it moving any?
It barely. It It's barely wiggling.
That thing's in the ground, isn't
Yes, it is. I don't think so. Hit her from this lower side and see if we got any of these loose. That is one nice tractor right there. I think this is quieter than the BX.
Maybe.
Man.
That's tight.
Yeah. It moved like half inch.
Yeah.
It ain't going. Yeah.
Need a little more teamwork.
Yeah, just a little bit. You can see how the roots, a lot of the roots were deep, but they go down quite a bit. All right, guys. Well, we didn't get the stump out of the ground, but I'm not going to call that a fail, because if you'll remember, I kind of warned you in the beginning, we probably weren't going to dig out this stump. But I think this was a fantastic test for Paul to get a chance to get on there, get some seat time, dig around that stump and find out what it's capable of. I don't want him to go and invest his hard-earned money into a machine that's not what he thought it was. So we really wanted to put it to its test so that he could see what it was capable of.
Yeah, and I can see its potential too. And you know, if you spend even a little bit more time there, it may not be the fastest tool for this particular job, but I can see its capability of being able to be used in a lot of different jobs and used well in those. And so maybe, I mean, this stump is pretty big size. As you can see, even my 60 horsepower tractor, and that thing weighs 8,000 pounds. And you know, it's not even hardly budging the stump even now. So it can just kind of give you a testament of how tough that stump actually is.
Yeah. So we have some other tests that we're going to do and let Paul get some more experience with the tractor, trying out the front end loader, the mid-mount mower. Those will be on some other videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We appreciate y'all watching. If you're not a subscriber to Williamson Ridge Outdoors, be sure and hop over there and subscribe to his channel and check out his great content. Lots of great stuff. Firewood, tractors, cutting hay, all the good stuff. So be sure and check him out. We appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day.